What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Adrian Miguel Show. I hope you guys have an amazing day such as I am. Now, before we get started, I want to introduce two very special people in my life who are actually going to be special guests on the show today. Please welcome my parents, Elbo and Luis Arango.
Hello.
Oh, are you guys happy to be here?
Yes, always.
Excited.
Okay, cool. So, reason being me bringing on the show, I wanted to ask them a couple of questions regarding my coming out experience and how it was for them, moreover than just for me. What was the experience like for them and things like that. So with that being said, though, I want to give you guys some background on our family. We are a pretty close family. We have a number of siblings. Well, I do. You guys, your children. Do you guys have anything you want to add on to that?
We have an amazing family with a great support system, so I think that's what holds us together always.
Okay. No.
We love everyone in our family. We support them and always get their back.
So I'm gonna just jump right into the questions, and these should come like normal to you guys because we've had conversations like this a lot. So when I first came out to you guys initially, what was your initial reaction? What were your initial thoughts? What was going through your mind at that moment? Yes.
Well, I have to say that when you first came out verbally and had that conversation with me, I already knew. So it wasn't a surprise, but as if you're using this as a learning experience for other people, then I have to say that the first time hearing it would be kind of a shock. Just not something that maybe you were expecting, but we love our children, and unconditional love is what it's all about for me.
With me, it was a surprise.
It was a surprise? Well, I can honestly say that it was so much easier with you than with her.
Was it? Yeah.
Wow.
It was a surprise, but when you love someone, you just immediately roll right into now. We just have to support him and make sure that he's happy and he has our back, and we have his back, and we move on.
That's interesting. So, but with that being said, though, now that you guys are a little bit more experienced with it, what do you wish you had known then that you know now, just about the LGBT community and all of that?
I think I speak for both of us when I say that you have opened our eyes into another world of, let's just call it, what I want to say is ignorant on my part, whereas you just never know until it happens to you. So you've given us an open mind and a more understanding of the whole topic LGBT, and I think that I've learned a lot through you. Yeah. And if I was ignorant before then, I can only say I'm sorry.
With me, I have to say same thing. With me, I was kind of just not really paying attention to us, the LGBT community. Yes, they did their thing, we did ours, but now I'm very sensitive to it and very overprotective.
Yes, amen.
So now that you guys are, more knowledgeable on the topic, and whenever you guys know somebody, how would you, and that person bashes the LGBTQ community or they have a lot of negative things to say, how do you navigate that situation?
Oh, I will be very vocal to navigate that conversation now. In my presence, if somebody ever said anything, ignorant and hostile, I would probably 100%. It would take a lot for me not to say something. Yeah. And maybe just educate people, not being so ignorant and just being so hateful.
Yeah.
With me in the past, I probably wouldn't have said too much.
Yeah.
If somebody said something, I wouldn't really get involved in it too much, but now I would.
Yeah.
And I would, because now I have a son that is gay and has come out, so I feel like I know him, I know his feelings, he's just a normal person, that's him, and then I would probably put somebody in their place really quick.
I think it's safe to say that with every family member, every child always, or every parent always teaches their child a number of lessons in their life. But I feel like every child also teaches their parent at least one lesson that their parent is not, and sometimes it's different. With all of our kids, Jordan could have taught you guys something different, Lily would have taught you guys something different. But I feel like for me, it was that it's okay to be different, and you know, boys don't have to be exactly what the stereotypical their stereotype is, you know, and vice versa for girls.
Yeah.
So
100% would have
I
to
totally
agree that
agree, yeah.
that's what you've opened, like I said earlier, you've opened our eyes to a different understanding of things.
yeah. If you guys could change anything about the way I did come out to you, what would it be?
Just that you would have said yes when I was asking you.
Okay, but you can't out somebody.
I know, but I mean, you know, but I guess, you know, if you're gonna use it as a learning experience, if your parents are asking you,
Yeah.
you know, they already must know. They already must sense it. And like I told you one time that I was Googling, you know, how can you tell? And I found somewhere where it said, if you feel that your child is gay, then they probably most likely are.
Yeah.
So if your parent is approaching you, asking you on several occasions, you know, hey, just be honest with me. That's your opportunity, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if they're coming to you without hostility and just, you know, not with an attitude or nothing, they just know. They want that feeling of, you know, hey, you could talk to me, you know. So I think if you're approaching that way, just be honest with your parents.
With me, I think, here's the thing. I think that there was sadness going on in your life, but I didn't know if there was other things in your life going on.
Yeah.
For example, you know, maybe just anything, just
Yeah.
social things. And then I feel that if you would have come out earlier, then you kind of prolonged it. And then if you would have come out earlier at a younger age, then you wouldn't have been so sad you were dealing with things like that.
Yeah.
You know, would have been earlier in your life, and you would have had more happiness, and you would have been you
Yeah.
instead of trying to hide something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. I never really thought about it that way. But to all the parents and children out there, but I guess really parents, because this would really pertain to them moreover, what advice would you give them, like if they're having a hard time coming out, you know, or I'm sorry, if they're having a hard time accepting their child, or just, you know, accepting the fact that they're coming up to them, like, or they don't knowing how to go about it?
I would just say, man, love your kids and accept them for who they are. Don't try to change them, because if you try to change the person they are, you're gonna get a fake person who's, you know, living a lie. As far as I see it, yes, your child is gay, and you know maybe that's not what you wanted, but he or she is not out there robbing and stealing it or doing, you know, some crazy things. They're just loving somebody of their own sex, and that's just love, and love conquers all. So just accept them for who they are and go on.
So I would have to say that for me, the most important thing is that your child is happy.
Yeah.
A happy kid. And has been my goal in my life always with all of my kids, to make sure they're happy. And if you're not going to allow them to be who they are, they're not going to be happy. And you have to go ahead and support who they are and make sure they're happy. The choice they made is their choice, and you just have to support them.
Yeah.
That's what you want. You want a happy family. You want a happy kid. You don't want a kid that's upset and withdrawn from everybody, and you know, not feeling like he's accepted. So you just gotta accept him. And
Like that question you just asked me, like I mentally could mentally put a picture together of a child coming out to their parents and their parents just not accepted them, right?
Yeah.
And this thought of, because like you said, we knew that you were kind of going through something, and obviously now we know it was because you didn't know how to find a way to get through this, right?
Yeah.
So it was a struggle for you alone, which I commend for walking, you know, for you, what you've done, and you know, getting out there and telling everybody. But I have a vision of kids who are not accepted and just committing suicide or something like that. And I say to parents, you know, look at that situation and think about that situation, because this is a hard thing that, you know, LGBT community has to do. They have to come out with to their parents and to their loved ones, and maybe they're not accepted all the time, and that could lead them to things you can't ever imagine. And I'd rather have my child here and him happy always than not to. So
Yeah.
And the other thing is that there's a lot of parents that are doing things that a child might not accept. Like a parent may be going through some tough times, and the kid is not understanding of the parent and not accepting of the parent. And what I want to say, it could be vice versa. So just as you have to understand your child, I mean, your child has to understand you're going through things, you have to understand your child too.
Yeah.
It goes the same way.
I agree. And I never really thought of that, actually.
Yeah.
Like,
Because there's parents that have their issues, they have their
Yeah.
things they're dealing with. And, you know, children have to understand their parents, and then there's children that are going through things, and the parents have to understand them. So
Yeah.
it's all about support and love, man.
Absolutely. We're your biggest cheerleaders, Adrian.
Yeah.
You know, always have them pom-poms rooting for you every step of the way.
Do you guys have anything else you want to say though? Like any additions? Like, 'cause now is your time to speak. I'm sure because we've had talked a lot. So.
No, I just want to say that if there's anyone out there watching this show, that they need to listen to what we're saying, because we know we walk them
Being in them
steps,
shoes, yeah.
and we know, you know, just listen to your kid and let them be happy
Yeah.
and support them.
And
And watch the Adrian Miguel show.
absolutely.
Very informative.
Well, I've been wanting to do a video like this with you guys for a while, and I'm glad we sat down and talked about it. You know, not only for me, but just to other people could see. You know,
Okay.
yeah.
You know, it's gonna. This video will be helping others.
Yeah.
I believe it will help them, and it'll help parents understand that.
Yeah. I just want to say I really love you guys, and I don't know what I would do without you
I
guys.
love you too.
Same
I got
here.
your back.
I know, like,
We are, like I said, Adrian's cheerleaders always, especially me.
but thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you have any other questions or comments, you should, you know, regarding your coming out to your family, or if you're a parent and you know you'd like to address something with this, comment on the section below. Make sure you like this video, subscribe if you haven't not done so yet. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and follow me on Snapchat at Adrians_back. I love you guys, and I appreciate you watching this. Do you guys have a lasting impression you want to give?
Subscribe to this channel.
Also,
Oh, Adrian Miguel.
Go
Well,
Buffalo Bills.
actually, it's funny because if you guys have watched some videos in the past, you definitely recognize him. And like, I don't know, a bunch of videos. Like, he's like in the car ride video,
Yeah.
and a handful. On
No
YouTube.
patience in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you guys for watching. this.
We're almost stars.
Yeah, they're gonna be YouTube parent stars, I guess. But thank you guys for watching this. I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys soon.
Bye-bye.